Today, on our 10th episode Mother's Day special, we're going to talk about women in coins.
It's time to get into the show.
Let's do it.
Let's get into the show.
Welcome to episode 10. This is the Mother's Day special with women in coins.
We're into double digits, man.
I know, we made it. Episode 10. Here we go. Here we go.
I feel like that's a big accomplishment, even though some people have like thousands of videos.
And it's only been, 3 or 4 months we've been doing this for, 10 episodes. We're trying to crank them out a little bit faster, and we're going to keep going for you guys.
Yeah, we've been doing one a week. That's pretty good for a couple guys that do other stuff for a living, right?
There's been a few gaps in between there, but yeah, you know, we got full-time jobs. We're trying to really make this happen, so
That's
we'll
right.
see.
John's got a family. I mean, I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're making it work.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd start off the conversation with Lady Liberty.
Yes.
She is the mother of our country, you could say.
Right.
And she was, the very first woman ever depicted on a U.S. coin.
Right.
And since then, how many coins has she been on since then? I mean, through the classic era, probably
dozens.
Right.
I mean, think about all the coins she's on. All the flow hair series, the drape bust, cap bust, seated liberty,
standing liberty, walking liberty,
cornet head. I mean,
the regular double eagle, Longacre Liberty series, the St. Gaudens where she's walking forward with the American flag draped over her.
The Barber series, the Morgan series, trade dollars. I mean, she's on everything.
That's
from
right.
1792 all the way up into the 1930s consistently.
She probably is one of the most famous women in coins.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely dominant in that time. We kind of took a turn in the 40s, but what we were talking about a little bit earlier is Lady Liberty was potentially inspired by Martha Washington.
Right. And Martha is another very famous woman in rare coins.
Yeah.
As a legend is told, she gave her silver up to have the 1792 dismies created. And those are those little half dimes, I think, is the translation for it.
Correct. Disney, dime. I've heard them both.
Right.
I've heard lots of arguments. It really doesn't matter, right?
We're not going to split hairs.
No.
So it was her silver that went towards that, and there are some people that have suggested that potentially it's her image as opposed to the distinct Liberty image that's being depicted on the Disney as well. I don't know. I'm not sure I have an opinion on it, but
I mean, it's a rough
conversation.
point.
And then after Martha, so in 1795, the very first, I mean, this is amazing you were telling me this, the very first federal government female employees ever in the history of our country were hired by the U.S. Mint.
Exactly.
So they were actually Mint federal employees were the very first women, and they were adjusters, right?
They were adjusters. So what they did is they used to shave portions off of the planchets and make sure that they were the right weight and measurements, because the U.S. didn't have a lot of money back then. Every little scrap of gold and silver counted for something, and so they served a very important function, making sure that our mint ran efficiently, had enough money to keep going in the very early stages of America.
And like you see on the obverse of the 1794 dollar, that very famous dollar that sold and broke auction records, it does have those what look like file marks that go across the face of it, and those are the adjustments. So they weighed the coin, they made sure that it assayed and weighed the exact amount, and if it didn't, they'd file it down and take those shavings and then utilize them in the future. So
some people hate adjustment marks. I personally think they're really cool, just because it shows the interaction, the work of human hands on our coinage. I mean, somebody did that with their hands. It wasn't done in a machine. It wasn't. I mean,
it was a hand done process.
That's practically a finger.
Right.
I mean,
so you can argue that if you have a 1795 to maybe 1804 series U.S. silver or gold coinage, chances are if you have an adjustment mark on that coin, it was made by one of the very first federal government female employees in the United States history.
That's huge, man. I mean, coins have done so much for our country, but what we learned today is they were really revolutionary in including women in the workplace.
Right.
It kind of started there, right?
Absolutely.
Being able to work in a government facility. I mean, that was so cool.
Yeah.
So the next woman in numismatic history was Nellie Taylor Ross.
Yeah, we felt it was important to highlight her. I know we're jumping forward to 1933 a little bit.
That's a big time jump, right?
But it was
over 100 years.
pretty significant reason. She not only was the first mint director,
Yes.
but she also was...
She was the first female mint director, which is close
female
enough.
mint director, right,
Yeah,
right,
it's
right,
close
right.
enough.
Right.
And she was elected the first governor of Wyoming that was female. Another way to say that is the first female governor of Wyoming. You can say it either way.
Yeah, yeah.
And what had happened is her husband was governor. He had passed on.
Okay.
Then she was sworn in as governor. She was very popular with the people at the time. And then continuing that political career, ran for director of the U.S.
Okay,
Mint.
so that was the transition into it. Okay, that makes sense.
And it was a big deal at the time. I mean, we had said that women had been federal mint employees since 1795, but in 1933, her becoming the director did not go very well.
Okay. And that was the year they confiscated gold.
Yes.
That was the Gold Confiscation Act year as well. So there was a lot, I would imagine there was a lot going on that year politically, financially. There was probably a lot of uproar, and she may have been getting a lot of heat.
Oh, man.
Not only because of the gold confiscation, but because she was a woman.
I mean, it was all of the above. She met a lot of resistance. Luckily, there was an assistant mint director whose name I can't remember at the time that was much more established, much more trusted. They formed a bond.
Okay.
They were soul sisters, and that bond led to the beginning of public trust of Nellie Taylor Ross.
Wow.
And sort of transitioned her into becoming a very prominent figure. And then what we learned is that had a big impact on female mint directors, right?
Right, because from what you were telling me, after that, the following 85 years after she became mint director, for 54 of those 85 years, there were female mint directors that followed. So for a significant time frame, the females in that role really have excelled, and probably most likely, from what I can tell, probably did better than the male counterpart.
I mean, they were there more years.
I would argue that, yeah.
So it's pretty impressive what her example, what her leadership, her going before everyone else, and showing that this could be done. I think really advanced public opinion.
It's humbling, man. Yeah, I mean, she was really ahead of her curve, and she had the guts, and she had the desire to do it, and it's for what she accomplished, especially during that time frame, I think it is nothing short of a miracle.
Exactly. Totally amazing. So I think what we're going to do is kind of cap this off with a few females and a few women in modern numismatics that we kind of have highlighted and have stood out to us. So why don't you start with a couple?
We definitely wanted to give a shout out to Sarah Miller. She's the director of numismatics in New York for Heritage Auction Galleries, and she's doing really great things for Heritage. She's very active socially, and that's one of the things I really like about her. She really likes to talk to the public, to engage the public. And Sarah, hi. Also, Nina Ann Fan. She is the auction director of her Kagan's auction, a very big auction house. Kagan's been around for quite some time, very big into territorial gold. And Nina has been in the industry for, I believe, 15 plus years. And she's
so similar to us.
She's a staple as well. And again, Nina, hi, how you doing?
Way to go, you're crushing it.
Yeah.
And I think what we'll finish off with is Laura Sperber, because she is so prominent in our industry. I've been reading about coins for 15 years, ever since I've been in the industry. And to me, she's a name that I recognize.
She's a legend, no pun intending.
Wait a minute. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Laura has been dominant in our field for a long time. She's built a great reputation for herself. She's been revolutionary.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what she did with the rainbow-toned Morgans? She had gotten to naming each individual rainbow-toned Morgan, gave it a different name, and I don't remember many of them.
See,
but
I didn't know that.
But
it's epic.
for me, looking at that from a branding and marketing standpoint, I just thought it was amazing. The coins all set records when they sold, and it was her direction that caused those events to happen, and her genius behind branding and the way she marketed the whole package was fantastic.
And she's been honored by the ANA several times.
Yeah.
She's won several ANA awards, for not only selling and breaking records at auction for sales. What was the coin that she sold?
Well, it's only the first silver dollar created in America. I mean, it's no big deal.
Big deal.
Literally the first is the argument.
Yeah.
The first
That's right.
specimen created, the first 1794 flowing hair dollar.
That's right.
She not only set a record when she bought it at auction for over 10 million at Stack's Bowers, she then sold it to her client for a record. She still has both for single greatest numismatic item, and you can probably count 8-figure numismatic transactions on both hands.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout history.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just talking single transaction.
Right.
I'm not talking about an auction or anything like that. I mean,
Right. Just
single
private sale.
single one event
Right.
sale.
Right.
So Laura, you are a legend. Shout out to you.
Absolutely. We're honored. Seriously.
We are. Yeah. Bravo to you.
Bravo to you, Laura.
Yeah. So that's gonna wrap it up.
That's
for,
it. So that's Women in Coins on our special Mother's Day 10th episode.
10th episode. Yeah.
So thanks
All
for
right.
joining us, guys.
Happy Mother's Day, guys.
Happy Mother's Day. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the music. Enjoy the the song. The song. Enjoy the song.